Greetings, family. This is the Divine Alchemist checking in. I am excited to share some information with you guys today. Won't take a lot of your time, but I do want to talk about something that is very near and dear to me. It's a topic that a lot of us overlook sometimes, and it's important, and we know it's important, but sometimes the things that are most important, we spend the least amount of time actually focusing on just because it's something that we've been talking about our whole life, or something that we've learned a long time ago. So today, what I want to talk about is knowledge, just knowledge itself. And what is knowledge? We'll start with that. So Webster defines knowledge as facts, information, and skills that are acquired by a person through experience or through education, okay? So basically, to put it in layman's terms, knowledge is everything that you've learned in your life, whether you did it, whether you learned it from another person, whether it was something that you watched happen or that you saw on TV or your friend told you about. It's just information that is stored within your being that you understand, right? So we always learn about it, and then we hear cool things like knowledge is power, or the newest one people like to say is knowledge is nothing but applied knowledge is power. And that's true, but knowledge is something that we all have, that we all acquire, and it's something that we sometimes take for granted. So I just want to talk about it. I want to take a little bit of a deep dive on knowledge, and let's just expand on this a little bit. So first of all, the knowledge that we know is what we know that we know, okay? I'm going to say that again. All of the knowledge that we have is the things that we know that we know. So for example, I know that I know how to drive, okay? I have that knowledge. I know that I know how to read. That's something that I have knowledge of. And I know how to cook, or at least I think I know how to cook. Some people think so too. That's neither here nor there, but that's knowledge. That's the things that I know that I know. But when we really think about knowledge on an expanded plane, an expanded consciousness, knowledge is everything that is. So just to put this in perspective, if we look at knowledge like, let's just say the size of the planet Earth, that's all the knowledge that exists. The things that we know, I would say is the size of about an ant, okay? Based on all of the information, all of the knowledge, all of the experiences that are available for us to have, what we actually know that we know would be about the size of an ant compared to all knowledge that is available to all people, okay? And the thing about it is most of us spend our whole life focused on that. And sometimes, we might get a little arrogant and we might think that we know everything, but really we know nothing, kind of like, nothing, Jon Snow. It's basically like that. And once we really realize that, it can add a lot of value to our lives when we understand it. So just to take this a little bit deeper, so we do know what we know. I explained a couple of things that I definitely understand, and obviously there's many more, but those are a few examples. The next thing I want to talk about is, do we know? Well, we do know what we don't know, okay? Now, the things that I know I don't know, for example, I know about scuba diving. I know I don't know how to do that, okay? I know that planes exist. I know that pilots exist, but I know I don't know how to fly a plane, okay? Now, when we look at the things that we know about and the things that we know that we don't know how to do, that's a very small amount as well, okay? Because that falls under all of the knowledge that we know. And now outside of everything that we know, we're just focusing on the things that we know how to do, all right? Now, I want you to take a second and listen to what I'm about to say. What about the things we don't know that we don't know, okay? The things that we literally have no idea exist, but they do exist, and then we have no idea how to get them. And the thing about things that we don't know is a lot of those things we need. I know a lot of you guys have goals, aspirations, and things you want to do in life, but if you had all the knowledge, then you would already be there. So sometimes we have to, take a slice of humble pie and understand that we don't know everything, and then understand the concept of the things we don't know that we don't know. The first time I heard that, my mind was blown. I'm like, wait a minute, I never even thought about that. I never thought about the things that I don't know that I don't know. But what I did realize is the space between me and reaching my goals, it lay there. That's how I get there. I have to understand the things that I don't know that I don't know. So how do we do that? How do we actually access the information that we don't know that we don't know? The way we do that is honestly by, number one, accepting that we don't know as much as we think we know. We have to understand and be humble that, hey, listen, I know a lot of information, I think, or I've learned a lot, or I may have felt like I mastered a subject or something like that. But the reality is, out of all the information that's available to be learned, I pretty much don't know anything. And I'm okay with saying that. I wasn't at one point in my life, but here and now, especially the way that my knowledge always expands based on, my growth, I can fully understand, comprehend, and accept the fact that I don't know anything. Accepting that fact is something that I feel is super valuable in my experience, because what it does is it allows me to open up. It makes room for more information, and it allows me to remove my perspective from a situation and be willing and able to accept a new perspective that can actually add value to my life. Okay? Now, once you are able to do that and you accept that you don't know everything, what this allows you to do is it allows you to do, which is the next step, which is learn how to ask the right questions. Okay? Now, this is super powerful, so I'm going to say it again. It is super important in life for you to learn how to ask the right questions, because if you ask the right questions, guess what? You get the right answers, okay? And you have to know who to ask these questions to. And honestly, those things will pull up on themselves, because today I want to tie this in with the law of correspondence, and I'll get to that in a second, but I want to just talk about this question aspect. I feel like, and I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but when I was growing up, I feel like I taught myself a lot of things. I was self-taught on just basic things, but it became a habit in my life it put me in a place where I didn't necessarily like asking for help, or I didn't like reaching out to people, or I was kind of nervous really to talk to people. I felt like maybe they didn't want to share. And that's just me opening up and sharing some of my past beliefs that were limiting. But once I got over that and I started asking questions, I started to understand that this is how life works. This is how people that are successful get successful, is through asking the right questions and acquiring the right knowledge and then sharing that knowledge. So learning how to ask questions is super important. And then finally, controlling your emotions is of the utmost importance as well. And I kind of spoke on that a little bit, but if you can actually decide that you are going to receive value from every situation and every person that you meet, man, that's a game changer. If you can really understand that no matter what the experience is, it could be what one would consider the worst day of their life, there's definitely a lesson there. Things don't happen for no reason. So we have to understand that if something's going on, there's something for us to learn. So those would be my 3 tips for really just trying to master the skills. Number 1, accept that you don't know anything. Number 2, learn how to ask the right questions. And number 3, learn how to control your emotions. And I want to, expand on that a little bit. And now I'm going to introduce the law of correspondence for you. And, for those that are new to this channel, I do like to tie in the universal laws that govern our reality and add them to everyday life and, show them how we can use them in order to help us benefit in our lives and not just take away. So when we look at the law of correspondence, what is that? Basically, it's receiving. So when you get correspondence, it's like you receive something in the mail. You got a check coming, or whatever the case may be. You talk to a business, they say you'll receive the correspondence in the mail. So once you get the correspondence, it's basically you receiving the information that you need. It'll give you all the details of, whatever it is that you're receiving mail about. So when we look at that on a universal level, the law of correspondence is our feedback. We live in several different planes here. We got the mental plane, we got the physical plane, we got the spiritual plane. Now, when we open up our consciousness and we take a look at all of these different planes, and we look at the events that are happening in our lives in regards to how we feel, in regards to what's happening, what's showing up, who's showing up, the things that are going on in our life, it's all correspondence. So if you think a certain way, you're going to receive certain activities, certain people are going to show up in your life. So a lot of times when we see things happening in our life, we have to understand that this is the universe sending us correspondence. So if I've been thinking a certain way, certain people show up in my life. If I don't like the people that are showing up in my current experience, I only have my thoughts to blame. I have to look at how I've been thinking, and I got to sit down and really be clear and honest with myself and see, okay, how did I get this situation to show up in my life? And more importantly, how do I transform it into a situation that I want to show up in my life, okay? So we tie that law of correspondence into really understanding how knowledge works and understanding what we do know, understanding that what we do know that we don't know, and then understanding what we don't know that we don't know and seeking after that. That's how we're gonna get where we need to go in life. So I just wanted to drop that quick tip for you. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, please subscribe to the video, and please share it with your friends. So thank you so much. And until next time, you guys have a great day.